Hey guys, myself here. Before we dive into the Buckle Up Phone Down Challenge, I just wanted to encourage you of a few things and tell you a quick story. Last year we won the Buckle Up Phone Down Challenge, which is pretty cool for our size of school. And we got to go to Jeff City, a group of people and a group of students, and listen to some stories and some messages from our governor, from some parents and people who had lost children based from distracted driving. We got to hear from the head of the Missouri Highway Patrol and then also the National Highway Patrol, and the statistics and the life-changing impact that is happening right now in our country based on distracted driving. Now that cell phones are just part of our everyday life and all that we do, it really is pretty staggering. And I'm going to encourage you as your presenters do this lesson for you guys to just lean in and listen. Make sure you're not distracted as you hear what they share. You will hear some tough stories, but let it talk to your heart, let it talk to your mind, let it touch you, and you decide how you want to move forward. And I want to tell you one quick story. I could talk a lot, but I'll just tell you a short version of the story. So there was a person alive several 20-ish years ago. His name was William Heath Self. He was known as Heath Self. Big Heath is what we all refer to him now, still these days. But he was this awesome human at Sykeston High School. He went to college at SEMO. He was a 3-sport athlete. He was loved by everybody. A lot of you, your parents went to school with him, and you can ask them about him. They will remember him. He was one of Greg Hollifield's first team. He was on one of his first teams back when Sykeston was just starting to shine with Coach Hollifield. Coach Gabe DeMint played all kinds of sports with him, but his name again was Heath Self. You'll see his a little logo sometimes in town. People have it on their car. It's out at the baseball field, and it's Willie Heath Self with a 7 in it. And when you see that, I want you to remember this story. So Heath did die at the age of 21 because of a distracted driving accident. He was north of town. He was going to college at the time. He was going to be a PE teacher and coach. And as he was driving back to Sykeston one night to go to a softball game, like a church league softball game, for just the fun of it, someone was on their phone and they didn't see him. He was on his motorcycle. He was on a motorcycle, and they pulled out into his path. And he did not survive that accident. It was a pretty huge blow to the town of Sykeston. In my time here in Sykeston, I've never known of the field house being used for a funeral. I'm sure there have been others, but in my life experience, that was the one. The field house was full of people who were sad to have lost him. His legacy lives on in 1,000 different ways. There are a lot of different people, but I want you to know that this distracted driving thing is real. It really does change lives. It really does change the whole trajectory of people's lives. It breaks their hearts. It's not a joke. It's not like a made up thing that people looking at their phones, people being completely caught up in something else while they're driving, even if it's drinking, if it's being high, whatever it is that's distracting you from the road, it really does have real consequences. So, as you listen to the rest of these messages, be sure you tune in and take it serious.
I want you guys to think about this video. What would it be like for your mom? It's bad for your dad, but let's talk about mom. If the police came to the door in the middle of the night and told them you were dead, or like you'll see in this next video, a doctor in the hospital tells them you're dead, your mom would never recover. I want you guys to think about the people you will leave behind if anything happens to you. You have the power to control that, to make good decisions as passengers and as drivers. your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers would never, ever be the same. They would have a lifetime of mourning if anything happened to you, and you can protect them from that.
These are the shears I'll use to cut through your clothes. This is the table where I'll put your purse, your wallet, your jewelry, your phone. This is the clock where I'll mark the time. This is the bag I'll wrap around your body. This is the room where I'll tell your mother you're dead. Put down the phone. Pay attention to the road.
That conversation, she told me he only looked away for a few seconds. And I have to tell you, I was thinking about that and thinking about it, made me angry. My daughter's dead for just a few seconds. Other people are dead because someone else was never in a crash. They thought they could handle it. They thought they were a safe driver. I want you to think about each and every one of these excuses, because there's thousands and thousands of dead kids attached to each and every one of these excuses. And if you don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb while driving, and you're looking at notifications, you are going to be trying to justify your conduct based upon this. Have you ever thought about any of these excuses? This next video asks you that question.
So I just confess that I text and drive. If I get a text, I'll look at my phone.
It's definitely texting.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Snapchat. I do Snapchat and drive sometimes.
Is that like making Snapchats or watching them?
Making them.
A, texting is like my main form of communication.
Boredom, honestly.
And B, well, no, I guess no, it's really just A.
I've only never done it at stoplights. I've always been really good about it.
The passenger has a pretty important role driving now, where they're like, oh, red light, red light.
If someone that you like texts you, you're like, you can't just like let it sit there without just knowing what they said.
Because what if something exciting's happening or something happened?
Like every time I do it, I think about it, I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I just keep doing it.
So I'd like to, want to introduce you to a friend of ours.
My name's JC.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Dash.
Justin, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I just really quickly want to have a chat, tell you what happened to me. When I was 21 years old, driving home from my college graduation ceremony, driver on his phone was so distracted, he turned left into the intersection at a red light. Another car, an 18-wheeler, swerved to miss him and hit my family's car. And the resulting collision actually killed both of my parents. I spent 2 months in the hospital fighting for my own life, and then 2 more months in a rehab hospital, learning how to walk again, learning how to speak again, learning how to dress myself and how to feed myself. I live with a partially paralyzed body. I didn't have my daddy to walk me down the aisle when I got married.
Having sort of like met JC, because you look at JC and sort of give those same reasons.
Usually I use my phone to change a song on. I try to use it as little as possible, but
I'm not gonna look at my phone ever again.
Honestly, if I have been sitting at a red light, I'll like glance down to see if my mom's texting me, but the people's lives that are impacted from something that is so stupid.
I can assure you on my drive home right now, I'm not going to use my phone and drive, and I'm not going to do it when I go to work tomorrow and the next day after that until, it becomes a habit, and that just doesn't happen at all.
I know this is hard, I'm sorry, it's hard for me too, but this is real. You have the power to really actually make a difference and do something about it.